I don't know what it is. We went live again and it didn't give me it didn't give me as much time as I thought it would. It happened last time I had her on too. I'm not going to say it's her fault. I'm just saying it's happened twice when I've had this guest on. This is our second appearance in 2 weeks, which means either she had a good time or she has nothing else to do. How you doing?
Can it be a little bit of both?
So I'm going to get your name, Alexandra Theis.
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 Yeah, I let it slip the first time. But actually, it could probably go either way. I'm not entirely sure. Whoa. It's such an odd last name.
Wait a minute. You let it go the first time. That means you condoned my bad behavior. You should have nailed it right on the bat.
I am more of a stickler for my first name than I am for my last.
Did I get it right?
So you got my first name perfect. Yes.
Good. That's what counts. I'm just making sure we're live like it says we're live over here on my Facebook page. Since it didn't give me my count in, I'm worried now. Yeah, we're live. We're all good. All right. So now, last time we did this, you said before we came on, you were like, I really don't know if I have a lot to offer. I don't really know if it's going to be that engaging. So after the fact, did you have fun?
Oh, I had tons of fun. Yes.
And I thought it was pretty interesting. Didn't you? Have you listened back on it at all?
I have. I did. I found that we touched upon, a lot of different topics. I mean, we talked about pythons. We talked about working out. So, we ran the gamut. I found some contradictory feedback or answers on my behalf. In particular, when I was talking about leaving Florida and there being no greenery there as being one of the primary reasons, and then I move here and I don't go outside.
Oh, I've got a game we're going to play in a minute called What's Up With This Picture? And part of the last week's conversation, I'm going to bring back up again. So that'll be good. So going back to that conversation, it's really weird. You went back and listened to it and you picked it apart. Is that a trait? Are you an overthinker? Are you somebody that analyzes stuff that you've done in the past? Are you the kind of person that does it, lets it go, and doesn't worry about it?
I've been told that I overanalyze everything. So I primarily I wanted to hear myself, hear what my voice is. It's not every day that we do something like this, right? And we get to hear what we sound like, being fed back to us. But and then I just picked out some things that I was like, man, like I say one thing and then I say a completely different thing. And in this world, it's very hard for people to understand that you can actually hold two opposing viewpoints, or two just varying viewpoints. So I noticed I did that a little bit. So.
Let me see your nails.
They are absolutely the same as they were the other week.
I'm gonna have a nail check-in when you come on.
We can have a brow check-in too and a lash check-in, because can I give another plug to a girl here locally?
You can. Go for it.
Megan Clanton out in Hickson with MC Aesthetics does the best eyelashes and brows in town.
We'll get her to sponsor these conversations. Now, I will say, if we move forward and get this conversation sponsored, the first thing we're going to do with any money we make is buy you a light. Because right now, I told you, it looks like the good versus evil podcast. It's almost, you're sitting in the shadows and people are going, well, she's like glowing and I can't tell. And he's just like paste, like one big light bulb.
They can see a cheek and like a ring and, a little bit of my forehead. No, my whole house is like this. I don't like overhead lights very much, like fluorescent lighting. I only like incandescent lights. And I think the highest wattage I have in my house is probably like 30, 40, maybe.
Really?
Tops.
That would drive me insane.
It's probably not good for your eyesight, right? In 10 years.
No. And I've been told and you can't tell again, because everything is like blonde or washed out on this way I've got the lights. But I have been told that I have just outstanding eyelashes.
Oh.
Yeah. You're getting to know people.
You don't need to visit Megan then.
No. Every girl I've ever met they'll get real close. They'll go, oh my God, your eyelashes. And I'm like, I had no idea. That's pretty bad when you're a dude and the best trait you got is that dude. He's got some good eyelashes. It's not great. Hey, so I wanted to bring up something that you responded to another video I did, because I've been this week and even a few days before Christmas, I'm putting a lot of content out just because it's a great time for people to catch up on stuff. But I had a conversation about politics called on one of the platforms I do called Of, By, and For the People. It was with Eric Buchanan and Clay Dennis. And then I've had them with Brandon Lewis and John Ballinger, and we've got some good guests coming on for that platform. But you had mentioned that he is the member of a Braver Angels.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the name. You said you had tried to start like an association of that here, right? Or in Florida?
Here, actually. Yeah. Is he in Texas? I didn't. Oh, he's here?
He's here in Chattanooga. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because see, when I was listening to him and the name popped up, Braver Angels, he had mentioned it. I thought, oh my goodness, I have to look him up. And when I looked him up, I didn't recognize, anything on his Facebook or just him listening to or watching the podcast. I didn't recognize him. But I think the organization used to be called Brave Angels, maybe. I think they changed it, or Better Angels. I'm sorry, it used to be called Better Angels, I believe.
Okay.
When I first moved here, I actually had heard about them through, oh gosh, the name is slipping me now, but somebody who's a professor. But in any event, thought, hey, let's start up a chapter. So Lynn Heedy, which she's over in, I think she runs the Nashville chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Me and a pastor here got together and we tried to start up a chapter. There's really only 3 of us that met a handful of times, and it just didn't pan out for whatever reason.
You might want to check back in with Eric. I mean, he's one of the best attorneys around. He does attorney work around the country, but he loves that organization. But it's that kind of goes to that political stuff we didn't talk about a lot last time. We agreed that we're just not going to kind of stamp ourselves. But that's an organization I don't think should offend anybody, because the concept is you take Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, libertarians of all walks of life, no matter where you come from, and you just try to learn how to talk about your differences in a civil, respectful manner, right?
Absolutely. Lynn actually came over here and we had put together a meeting, and there was probably about 15 of us. We did one of their events here. I think was the youngest person there, which is kind of disparaging,
No, you're young. What are you talking about? You're young.
Well, yeah, but I'd like to see younger people involved in politics. I mean, the average age of the people that attended the event was probably like 45, maybe. So anyway,
but guess what? To me, they're young.
Well,
so I get it though. I know what you're saying. Get it? You want young people. It's their world. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Because I really do think that the organization is on to something that is just so needed in this country right now, with the way that we've become divided over the last, 6, 7, 8 years. So,
yeah, everybody acts like when Trump got in office, everything became divisive. I think people have been ignoring what's been happening since, the mid 2000s, early 2000s. And I think it's been slowly happening for decades. It's just screaming loud now. It's the siren seriously, the police car that's 5 miles away sounds way different than the one that's parked in front of your house.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where we're at because of social media. Everybody is everybody's an expert in viruses. Everybody's a constitutional expert. Everybody has their headlines, and I'm just kind of tired of it. I like having conversations that you trust the other person enough to express your opinions, knowing that they may not agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that's like the price we pay for freedom of speech in this country, that like everybody has a platform and everybody has their say?
Yeah, I think what people forget though, and this is in my opinion, with freedom comes responsibility. And with responsibility, in my opinion on that, is I have a responsibility to be honest to myself and to say what I believe and represent the country as well as I can when I'm having those conversations. But part of that too is I also have to trust you that you're not out to get me. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a get you question or a get you headline or it's our turn politics. If I don't trust the other person on the other side of the conversation, and you're going to punish me for freedom of speech, that's fine. I'll still say it, but it's not going to be with an open heart. It's going to be with a clenched fist. And I think that is where we've come to. I'll say what I believe, mm-hmm. and I want you to say what you believe. But if we're going to punish each other for it, I'm going to call you a name, or I'm going to automatically assume that you do not agree with me because of some inherent evil that you are and I'm good and you're bad, that's not going to encourage you to really tell me what your thoughts are.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so ludicrous to me that, we can look at a person and hear one of their stances on one of the major topics, pick it, abortion, climate change, COVID, and then we automatically label them as team right or team left. And that kind of goes back to what I initially said, where, it's so crazy to people that they think that somebody could hold two contradictory viewpoints. Like, you could vote for Trump, but yet still believe in wearing masks.
Yeah.
And people just can't grasp that somebody could actually be in that camp or in that train of thought. And there are people out there.
Oh, yeah. And the two things I think two of the main things I think have screwed us up the most is, one is we've stopped holding our sides accountable. I think I've said this to you last time, but if you're a Republican and everything that Trump has said or every Republican's said in the last 4 years, 8 years has been right, and even when they've said bad things, you don't have the intestinal fortitude to say, you know what? I like most of what he does, but I don't have to like how he said that. That's not a good thing to say. It doesn't mean I don't support him.
Right.
I mean, I think we've lost the ability for a little self-reflection and hold our own parties accountable for things they say. And so what happens if me and you disagree and I say, what about this, this, and this on your team? And you go, that doesn't matter. It's not near as bad as your team. Again, it goes back to, I don't trust you. Right. Yeah. And then the second thing I think we've done horrible to each other is I've started labeling people. Now, I don't do it. I'm saying we as people. So if you disagree with me on a policy, then you got to be a racist. You got to be Hitler. You've got to be Stalin. You've got to be unpatriotic. It can't be about the policy. It has to be some inherent evil that you have. That's not conversation or debate. That's wanting you to shut up. And that's not right.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And it's so crazy that we go to the furthest extent, like Hitler. Because, it's just.
People need to do some history reading if you think people in this country are acting like Hitler.
I don't know. And people need to go read a little bit on Stalin too, if they think communism is, their ticket to success or freedom.
I think there's a lot of history that's getting left out because I see a lot of people run around with socialist T-shirts on, and I don't think they understand where they're heading if they go down that road. Because eventually they'll take from everybody else, but eventually they're going to come for your stuff too. So
yeah. Read the Gulag Archipelago, and then maybe that's what I say to people. Read the Gulag Archipelago. Get some
trade books.
Yeah, we can do that.
Have you ever read 1984?
I think I only read Animal Farm by Orwell.
1984 it's almost like reading a prophecy now. You'll be reading it and look up and go, well, that happened last month. That happened the last 2 years. It's weird how much it mirrors reality. And when it's supposed to be a parody, you're reading it going, well, this is stuff that could never happen. And now you're reading it going, oh, well, this is stuff that's happening. That's kind of silly.
Yeah. Brave New World is kind of like that a little bit by Huxley. But it's a little bit more like sci-fi related, but some of the overarching themes in there, written, I don't even know how many years ago that was written, but you look at nowadays and you're like, oh, okay. Well, he wasn't too far from the mark.
Well, I've got some good news for you. I just got an email a little bit ago. We're going to be getting one of the regional leaders from Braver Angels on with us. I think they're out of Atlanta or something. So
awesome.
Maybe you could tune in on that one, and maybe you could start jumping in on some of those conversations. That would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you do New Year's resolutions? Because we're coming up on that time of year. Do you do New Year's resolutions?
No, I really don't. I mean, I feel like the major New Year's resolution in the world I already have under my belt, and that's to work out and eat better. And I don't need to do that because I've got that one.
Are you a morning workout person or afternoon work? When does your biological clock the strongest?
So this is my workout time actually on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I'm really glad that we're able to utilize this time wisely on my Tuesdays and Thursdays, which are my off days. So
your rhythm, your natural peak for working out's in the afternoon or evenings. Because I've got friends and their biological clock is 5:30 to 7:30 in the morning.
I never quite understood that. I need calories in me, and I'm not one to be. Well, one, I don't like getting up early. When you said last week that you get up at 4:30, whoa.
Every morning.
Which I mean, that's one of those things that they say that's what makes a successful person, right? Is getting up early and getting your day started. But no, I've never been a morning person, really, and I've never been a morning working out person. Just because I like to have more meals in me when I work out. So
more calories.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cardio? Did I ask that last time?
I think we kind of touched upon that. I like intervals on like the spin bike. That's probably my favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
Because again, like last week I talked about deadlifts and how you can get so much bang for your buck with them. And I feel like the same goes with HIIT training, high intensity interval training. I do 20, 30 minutes on the bike and I'm done. Whereas, anything that's LISS, which is low intensity steady state cardio, maybe is what it stands for. Anyways, just walking at a normal pace, that's not going to burn obviously as many calories as if you're doing high intervals.
Gift buying. Have you got all your gifts bought?
Do you?
That's none of your business.
Are you one of those ones that waits till the very last minute?
Now, see, this is last time you said you wanted to interview me too. I'm okay with that, but you didn't say that this time, so that took me by surprise. I am the guy that COVID's hit, so I will probably do it differently this year, but I am the guy that not Christmas Eve, but the day before Christmas Eve, I go just knock it out in an hour and a half because I know exactly what I'm getting and I don't have to shop and browse. I walk into the store, I grab the product, and I walk out.
Okay. Yeah, so do you shop by like knowing the person and not having to ask them what they want, or do you normally ask what they want and you have like a list and you know what they want and you go
both? It depends. I mean, it was times in my life that I bought people based because I knew what they wanted, but I'm at that age now where I've got, my kids are late teens or mid-teens and early 20s. And so I would rather give them something that they really want than what I think they want. So I asked them for lists. And here's the thing now. It used to be, what was your answer as a kid? I don't care, whatever you want to get me. My kids got lists. They're like, what do you think about this, Dad? I'm like, that's great. Do we have a white label on that? Is there a, instead of grape nuts, is there a nutty nut?
Off, yeah.
It's not Fruit Loops, it's Hula Hoop Loops or something. Because that one's not going to get bought. But I'm a big stocking stuffer guy, though.
Oh yeah. What do you like to do for stockings?
I love, that's where I put your fun stuff in stockings. That's where that's what turns my crank about giving gifts is I try to find cool, unique things to give people. And usually I have been known to give as seen on TV gifts because I think they're fun. And it's 50-50 if they work, right?
Right. So do you all open your stockings first? Is that the first thing that you do, or do you open gifts first? Yeah.
No, we're stockings.
Yeah.
One of the coolest gifts I ever bought somebody, I thought it was cool, and I liked it. It was the iron that also is was an iron and a blow dryer. The handle, I'll have to look it up. It was an iron and a blow dryer. It was an iron and something. It was a combo travel thing. And so that's the first as seen on TV gift I ever got anybody. And after that, I was like, everybody's getting at least one of these stupid gifts every year in their stocking.
I feel like the as seen on TV gifts are usually like the 3-in-1. Like, you get 3 things in one. And
Have you ever been into one of those stores, the as seen on TV stores?
No, I've been into like a Brookstone.
No. Don't insult as seen on TV by those high-end, cool Brookstone. I've been into Brookstone, and that's one thing. As seen on TV stores, if you ever have the chance to go in a big one, you think, oh, let's just run in here and look around. That's an hour of your life gone immediately. It is like scrolling on social media. You will start going down the aisle, trying stuff. It is
where they have a whole aisle dedicated to stick-free pans.
Oh, yes. The whole thing. And they'll have videos going. What do you mean? I can, it's a spatula and a wrench. Holy shit. I've needed a spatula and a wrench for 20 years. I did not know they made that. Are you kidding me?
Perfect husband and wife gift, right? I mean, that could be like gender labeling at that point, so I better not get
wrong show. We don't do politically correct here. It's okay. We can label genders on this show. We are fine with that. Thank you very much. All right, so let's do this. Are you okay? Are you okay with playing the game? Are you on your computer or your phone?
I'm on my computer.
Okay, so you should be able to see it. So are you okay if we play the game of what's up with this picture?
I've never played it, but first time for everything.
These aren't hard. They're all Facebook pictures. That's what happens when you have social media. The social of it comes out. Here we go. So there's two in here that I have a question about. And this one is specifically, I don't know how recent it is, but I thought you didn't go outside because of ticks. I thought you were like, I fell once and I have ticks, so I just never venture out of my house. Here you are at Cloudland Canyon.
Well, you see that rock that I'm standing on, I feel like ticks don't really hang on the rocks so much. So, and it was a very short distance to getting out there.
Okay. Well, you have another picture of you out in the woods on some hikes. And I was like, for somebody who doesn't like, who hates ticks, you sure are out in the woods a lot.
I've gone a time or two since the tick incident. I won't say that much.
There we go. What's up with this? What's that?
That would be a waffle, and it looks like there's some syrup on it.
Some syrup and bananas, and then you got some biscuits and eggs up here. Gotta be honest, I saw this and I started starving immediately.
That was a smorgasbord. We went to, I think that was in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. My girlfriends and I took a trip down to IKEA, and so each one got something different, and so we just shared.
It looks like a Waffle House, but that waffle's kind of thick. That looks like a bigger waffle.
Yeah, our Waffle House, they're really like pancakes.
They're a little thinner.
Really thin, yeah.
What's this right here?
Oh, that one. So that is the band that I was talking about, the metal band that I drove up to Atlanta to see overnight. So that's Dragged into Sunlight. That's an image from, that wasn't one that I took.
Dragged into Sunlight?
Dragged, like being dragged into sunlight. Oops. Sorry, I just got a phone call. Sorry about that.
Do you need to take it?
No. Spammer. All day long. I mean, when you're a realtor and your number is out there in the ethereal, I mean, 20 calls a day to car warranties nonstop.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to take a call, I'll go through the pictures and just make up stuff. And then you can jump back on, and people tomorrow will be going, I had no idea you had that fetish. That guy said that. All right, let's go. Let's see what the next one is. I like this one, and this will prompt a good question too.
Oh gosh. Oh yes. Okay. Well, supposedly that thing is real. Mm-hmm. Can you believe that?
That's in Florida, right?
That would be Florida. Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't want it to be Chickamauga Dam and nobody knows.
So, I come up here and I get scared by ticks, but meanwhile, Florida, and we've got those, and it's no big thing.
Well, you see those coming most of the time. So are you a YouTube animal video watcher?
Well, there's this guy on Instagram. His name is Gator Boy Chris. And I think he works at like Gatorland or one of those places. But anyways, he does a lot of videos, and I just kind of I found myself at like 12:30 in the morning scrolling through his videos of him being in the water with gators. And I don't know, they're so fascinating. Like when you watch him in the water with like 8 of them at feeding time, you just kind of get a different perspective than,
Yeah, I get a different perspective too. That's called idiot. I hate to say this, but there are people that I have watched in the animal world that I really like. And I watch guys like that. And then if people ever find out, they go, did you hear about what's his name? He got killed. I'm like, man, that's shocking. No, it's not shocking at all. He swam with alligators. It's not. Doesn't matter of fact, if you were to say, make a list of 5 people you think will die this year, the dude that swims with alligators, top 5. Guy, did you see the guy jumped off bridges, hit his head, and he was number 3.
Yeah.
So I get stuck on YouTube videos with animals, and especially, this is going to sound weird, but dogs that defend their owners against wild animals.
Interesting. What got you started on that?
I don't know. I've got a cool dog. He's old and he tries, and I don't know. I got started on that years ago, and now every now and then I'm like, I wonder what's new. And it's tomorrow.
So Is there usually a happy ending with those videos? Because I would like not want to see the dog get eaten or taken down by the animal.
Sometimes there are happy. I would say 99% of the time they are happy endings. The good thing is the way YouTube is now. One of the it's not always good, but if there's something you don't want to see, it puts the warning up of, hey, this video. And when I see that, I know, oh well, yeah, the German Shepherd's going to get creamed by the grizzly bear, so I'm not going to watch that one. But there's a lot on there of dogs just protecting their owners from burglars or people trying to beat them up. There's a great one of a cat defending a little boy, his owner, from a pit bull.
Oh, okay.
And it tears a pit bull up. Pit bull wants nothing else to do with the cat.
Well, that's a first. Well, there you go. That there's a pit bull that will not tear anyone up, any cats up. At least she loves cats.
Is that your dog? Oh, really?
She does. Yeah, she does. Yep. Yeah. Yes, so that's baby.
Why? Just a silly question. Do you want me to actually ask it, or do you want to go ahead and explain it?
Why the costume?
Well, I don't know if there's another question about that picture, really.
Well, after I had dressed her, somebody said, "Oh my gosh, that looks like the Blind Melon dancer from the video when the No Rain song." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was like one of the top songs when I was a kid." But no, the dollar store has fantastic costumes. Last year, she was a unicorn. That's what it was, and it was $3 for that. 1, 2, 3, 3-piece, $3. So.
Do you think she likes that?
She's very tolerant of me. I will say that much.
I got to be honest. That look right there is, please, just don't take a picture. Don't take a picture. All right. How about this one right here? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The good thing is I've got my hand right here on the clicker, so I can pull this one down as fast as I put it up.
Oh, geez. I try to temper my Facebook page. You're not on my Instagram.
I am now. Hold on. You don't throw that little lure in the water and I get biting. As long as you're not following my Instagram, because that's some crazy stuff. Well, let's go ahead and follow it there. No, so I pull it down, but I'll tell you what it is before I pull it up. You're flexing. And you're standing next to a guy.
You can put that up.
So what is that?
So that was when I handed out trophies at a bodybuilding show one year, and I did spray tans in the back, back of the stage or whatever. I used to help somebody with a spray tan company, and so we did spray tans, and then I passed out trophies to the winners. And that guy was a photographer there. He was taking photos of everybody, and that was when I was in the best shape of my life.
Good picture. I kept thinking, well, I don't know who this guy is. And if I put it up, she goes, "That's Tom. Take it down." I cannot look at Tom. I didn't know where we were heading there.
Yeah.
So we only have 2 more. So that's not bad, right?
They've been good so far. You picked out good ones, so.
Yeah, trust me. This is very harmless. So this is one that we have in common, though. There we go.
There you do.
I bet a lot of people would look at that. There's a younger generation. My kids would know, but would not know who that is. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, if you had asked me 10 years ago, I wouldn't have known who that was either.
Really?
Yeah, I really didn't listen to them 10 years ago. But yeah, no. I mean, fantastic picture of them.
Yep.
2 of them were brothers, right? Was it Fogarty, and I don't know which one in that picture. The one behind.
The Fogarty's the second from the right or the left, if you're looking at the picture, I think. And I don't remember. I know I saw a documentary of Fogarty though, and I'll tell you what, people would be surprised at how many #1 songs and top 10 hits that guy wrote. Not just their music, how many songs that guy wrote. He is, to me, one of the top 5 best music writers as far as lyrics goes ever. Because he writes great music.
I think he was the reason why the band broke up, though, right? If I'm not mistaken.
They just got a little jealous. If you watch the documentary with him and Dan Rather on PBS, I think it was PBS. Is it PBS? I can't remember. But if you watch the documentary with him and Dan Rather, it was they went into that pretty in depth. There's a lot of reasons, but a lot of it had to do with jealousy.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of reasons bands like Van Halen broke up for jealousy reasons. And, when you're around, I think when you're a group like that, and you've had that kind of success, especially if you've gone from no success to success, everybody starts having ego issues, and if you don't check them at the door, I think it can become easy to be bitter because one person is going to get probably most of the attention, but everybody kind of went through the process. I'm like, dude, you're nothing special. I drove around in the beat up, 68 Chevy with you for 10 years when we were nothing. And so I think everybody has that issue. There's another good documentary on Netflix about ZZ Top.
Oh, okay. I haven't really ventured into them too much.
Are you a ZZ Top fan?
No, I mean
blues and Southern rock.
A few of their songs, but no. I kind of got into AC/DC last year for a little bit. I never listened to them.
Oh, AC/DC's outstanding.
Yeah, they were really good. They were really good.
Do you have a favorite AC/DC song?
Hell's Bells is a good song. I like that song.
Thunderstruck is a good song.
That is a good song.
One more picture, and then we'll talk other stuff.
Right.
This isn't a bad one. I don't have a clue what this one is, though.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That is Rocky Raccoon. Do you know who sung Rocky Raccoon?
Say that again.
Do you know who sung Rocky Raccoon? One of the most overrated bands in all time.
Oh, wait a minute. If you're saying overrated bands ever, it's got the Beatles. You froze up there. You froze up. Was it the Beatles?
You were right. Yep, the Beatles. Yep.
I wouldn't have got that unless you said overrated.
Yeah, no, that's I don't know if that's really an image that any of them drew. I just Googled Rocky Raccoon and found that image, and I thought it was cool.
At first I thought it was the one off of what's the movie series Guardians of the Galaxy, the little raccoon. Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy with Chris? You haven't seen that with Avengers?
No, I haven't. Is that wait, did you say that's a series or a movie?
Well, it's a movie, but it's like the Avengers. They've had like 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
Are you an Avengers movie person? Do you like those movies?
I live under a rock, basically, because I don't think I've ever seen one.
You've never seen an Avengers movie?
I don't.
Thor, Hulk, none of those.
Oh no, I haven't. Isn't that's sad? I saw Black Panther. Is that
yeah, that's one movie in like 15 that they have made. And I love we got some work to do on that one.
Yeah, I'm not much of a moviegoer, unfortunately. It's been a minute. I mean, this tragic thing that's going on with movie theaters these days. I mean, they're not,
they're not going to make it.
They aren't.
Most of them are going to go under. But I'm the guy, and I think I said this last time. I'll take myself to the movies by myself in a heartbeat. You save half the money. I don't have to talk to anybody. I sit in my same spot, and I watch a good movie. I like movies.
What would be your favorite? Do you have a favorite or a favorite genre? Maybe
no,
easier.
No, I guess I like the actions, and I like comedies, but I don't like going to the movie for comedies. I like watching comedies at the house a little bit, but I would say action. And when I say action, it's the Lethal Weapons, Godfathers, Goodfellas, The Avengers. I like stuff with some movement and action in it. And I'm a suspense thriller guy, so I just like a good movie. I just want to be entertained.
Yeah. Well, and I think like action movies, things like that are really fun to see in the theater. You get like a whole different just experience with that versus sitting on your couch watching it on your 50-inch.
But you're not a big movie person. You're talking movies. Look at you.
This coming from the girl whose one of favorite movies is What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I mean, that's pretty much a slow mover right there. You don't get much slower than that.
See this face? You probably can't because it's washed out because I'm so pale. Here, hold on a second. Let's see if I can make us match a little more. Look at that.
There you go.
There we go. I should have been doing that the whole time. That way you wouldn't have. Yeah. I've never heard of that movie. Who's in that movie? Is it any good?
Johnny Depp and Leonardo DiCaprio. It's an older movie. Very old.
So when you watch a movie, though, are you a thinker? Do you like the movies that make you think? Or you just want entertainment? Or really is that whole 2 hours something you'd rather do something else?
I think it's a little bit of not wanting to think, so just kind of tune out, and then also feeling, I wouldn't say guilty, but just kind of like there's something else I could be doing with my time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't really know what that is, what else I would be doing with my time,
But you binge watch stuff, right?
I mean, I have, and there's movies that I can watch repeatedly and not like Jaws. I think would probably be one of my favorite movies, and there's a little bit more of like a metaphorical background to Jaws, is like, you know, the abyss, right? Like going down under into the unknown and the dark trenches, and like that's kind of something that happens in our minds. So you could kind of like metaphorically extract from Jaws.
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. That is nothing but a shark chomping down on on food. Now you've got me thinking, did I miss the bigger picture about Jaws? I've seen it like 12 times.
Yeah, but for its time, I mean, think about what an impact it had on people. People were terrified to go to oceans after that. I mean,
it affected
absolutely terrified to go to the beach.
Well, you know, one of the things that, and I did a podcast on this, it's been a long time, but one of the things that people, they always say, well, of course, but I think we don't take it into account going into the movie, is the power of music in movies and things. Because right now there's probably 4 or 5 songs that if you were to play, you would never have to tell everybody what the movie is. And Jaws is one of them. All you got to do is go, that's Jaws. I'm not going swimming now. I'm not getting in the bath because I heard that song. The other one is Friday the 13th. Remember the?
Oh yeah, that, and well, Lion King. I don't know. That might be a little bit later on, but the Hakuna Matata song, like just you could that beat.
Yeah, I get that. Well, yeah. There's so many good songs and soundtracks. So that leads me into, and we'll kind of stay on this for a second, and I'll let you go. But I can't remember who it was I was talking to, but everybody has a soundtrack. And last week when we were talking about your workouts, when you listen to that, the evil music, is that what you called it?
Death metal. Yeah. Dark metal.
That's not what you listen to, like just sitting around, right?
No. I mean, sometimes I'll send you a few songs. They can kind of put you in a trance. They can like put you in another state of mind. And so it's interesting. But no, I mean, sitting around, I usually have talk radio playing in the background. If I'm like working on my computer, I'll have, you know, talk radio playing, because I just like, that's my way to catch up with politics and what's going on. So
see, when this other guy I was having this conversation with, that I said we all have a running soundtrack to our lives. There are songs that take you back to when you were 15 or 9 or 35, or when you got married, or when you got out of the relationship, or that great vacation, or working out, or a beautiful morning, or a gloomy Sunday afternoon when it's raining, holidays. So we've got these soundtracks, and I think it's healthy for people if you think that, if you go, we do have soundtracks. I think it's a very cathartic for you to sit down and actually put together your 20-song life playlist. I think that is cool to do.
You just gave me some homework to do.
I think it's fun. You will discover a lot about yourself, especially when you say you give yourself a number and you say, okay, it's going to be 20 songs. You'll figure out that it's going to be hard to, you'll have to start making some hard decisions.
Well, it's very hard to come across an album that you can play the whole album, like all the songs, and like each song, you know? Yeah. I really only one album comes to mind, and it's probably a compilation of their best hits, but the Eagles. I grew up like mom pushing the carriage with the headset on me listening to the Eagles. So that's one of my other favorite bands, I would say.
Well, I can give you for me, there's 2 more bands that I think are like that have albums that they did in the late 70s, early, well, for me, they're 3. Now you got me going down the music road. So the Steve Miller albums, Steve Miller, the CCR albums for me, and Bad Company. The Bad Company. Have you ever heard of Bad Company?
I've actually seen Bad Company.
Well, Bad Company album called Bad Company is one of my favorite all time. And then there's also James Taylor. Those albums in the old days used to have that. But Bad Company, to me, my buddies always make fun of me. They're like, they were the worst band around in the 70s. I'm like, you can eat a bag of whatever. Bad Company to me is one of my favorite bands of all time. So when did you see them in concert?
Oh gosh, I was a kid and we used to go to these we had like front row seats at this King's, it was called King Center. So it was just like a performing arts place. And I'm pretty sure that's the band that came, and I hated it. I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. I think he ended up giving me a drumstick, if I'm not mistaken. Like the drummer gave my parents to give to me a drumstick because I wanted to leave. Like I actually wanted to walk out of the theater. I didn't want to listen to
It
it.
wasn't Bad Company then. Feel like, so they sing Bad Company, they sing Feel Like Making Love, Rock and they were great music. So I can't believe you wanted to leave that as a child. So I was in Cleveland. A friend of ours used to play for the Cleveland Indians, and me and 2 or 3 buddies from here would take road trips up there for a couple of years, and we'd hang out for 4 or 5 days. And we were in Cleveland, and Bad Company was in town playing. You know what? It was either in Cleveland. It was either that trip or 3 or 4. I can't remember. I'm just at that age. Or we were in Chicago for a rugby tournament. I can't remember, but it was one of those 2. And Bad Company was in town. So we're in the hotel room getting ready to go out and do stuff, go to restaurants and whatever you do. And the local news was on, and they're like, "Hey, coming to town is Bad Company." And they were interviewing Bad Company. And I looked up, and it was old dudes, like really old guys. And I went, "That's not Bad Company that I know. They look like they're old." And my buddies are like, "Yeah, that's your favorite band, dude, right there." They're like, "Y'all shut up, man." That busted my balloon a little bit.
You know who's aged really well from the 70s though is Mick Jagger. You know, I mean,
you're just being silly.
He looks the same.
That
like
109 since 1969.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's aged well. You can't tell the difference.
Is Keith Richards still alive? Keith Richards is still alive, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, they're all alive, which is unbelievable to me. The abuse they put their bodies through, I have to imagine, you know.
George Burns. Do you remember a guy named George Burns?
That sounds familiar.
He was an old comedian, and he used to drink and smoke cigars like a chimney, and he died in his late 90s. But everybody used to give him grief. He's like, all my friends that are jogging, they're dead.
Yeah.
Like Betty White. You know, Betty White she was old when I grew up, and she still looks almost the same to me from when I grew up.
I mean, you know, people from decades ago lived on steak and potatoes. Like that was a staple. And nowadays it's like vegan muffins and, you know, whatever. Celery sticks.
Steak and potatoes if I can afford the steaks. If not, I just eat hamburgers. Potatoes. All right. So you're a real estate agent. How do people find you, just in case they want to?
Oh, yes. Facebook, Alexandra Theis, or on Instagram, alexandra.theis.re as in real estate.
Alexandra Theis.
And the market is hot these days. So if you're thinking about listing, now is the time to list.
You hear me get your name right? Theis?
You did. Thank you so much.
The 4th time's a charm for me. So as we wrap this conversation up, was it fun?
It was, again,
okay,
a delight.
Because you sent me these texts of like, I really don't have a clue.
Because I am so nervous. I don't want to disappoint your audience, I guess. I want this time to be worthy of you and, you know, worthy of your audiences.
I've said this a bunch, and I've said it last time, and in the last month has clarified it for me. We are surrounded by interesting people with interesting stories, and they go through life with a different perspective. And I think one of the things that keeps your mind open is slowing down long enough to hear those stories, to smile when they smile, to go, what the hell, when you don't understand something, and to ask questions. So I think all these conversations are fun, and I think they're needed now more than ever. Because if people want to go get stressed out about politics, you can find that on the very next scroll.
That's very true. It's infiltrating our society today. So it was nice to have a lighthearted conversation.
Let's stop. Let's have one agreement. Let's stop putting your dog in outfits.
I think she would agree with you on that.
I think that's where this is some therapy for your dog. We're going to cut that crap out for her.
Thank you.
You have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.